Is burning body fat actually easier by eating this one simple, sweet, delicious food? What's up and welcome to the video. I'm Dr. Daniel Ricciardi, gut health expert, licensed pharmacist, fitness enthusiast, creator of SIBO shortcut and the gut health supplement bloat blocker. So if honey is sugar and sugar is supposedly bad for you, why does the majority of research actually suggest that honey may cause not an increase in body fat, but a decrease, including reduction of the size of your actual fat cells and the quantity of fat cells as well? In this video, we're going to discuss why, if you are looking to lose body fat, honey may be a surprising option for you that you hadn't considered. Because while honey is sugar, it's not just sugar. We're going to talk about, number one, the impact of honey on body fat according to relevant research studies. Two, some of the mechanisms of action of fat loss, why this actually happens in the first place. Number three, some of the types of honey to choose from. And then lastly, number four, how much may be a good amount to consume daily if we were going to go off this research. And before we dive into the fascinating science of honey and body fat, I want to share a quick note about something that's been a game changer for people with digestive issues. I'm talking about bloat blocker. As a doctor of pharmacy, I know how frustrating bloating and gut discomfort can be, especially when you're really working hard on meeting your health goals. Bloat blocker is designed to relieve bloating fast with natural ingredients, so you can feel your best and get back on track. If bloating's been holding you back, this may be exactly what you need. Now, let's get back into why honey may be able to support your body weight and fat loss goals. Question number one, what's the impact of honey on body fat according to research studies? This 2022 review by Frontiers in Nutrition Journal reviewed 9 studies. 6 were animal, 3 were human, to evaluate the impact honey has on obesity management. They found that most of the animal studies have demonstrated that honey has weight-reducing properties as evidenced by lower body weight, percentage of body weight gain, and BMI, body mass index. And then 7 out of the 9 studies that were looked at in this review, in terms of body fat, honey supplementation lowered the body fat percentage, adiposity index, and omental fat mass, which is just the amount of fat around your organs in your abdominal cavity. It goes on to say, microscopically, honey consumption led to lower adipocyte area. Adipocytes are fat cells, and adipocyte parameter, meaning the fat cells shrunk, got smaller. Reduced number of adipocytes in the visceral fat. This means that there's actually fewer body fat cells altogether. Some of them went away, and smaller adipocyte size in the intra-abdominal and mesenteric fats. According to these research studies that they looked at, some of them found that the actual fat cells shrunk, and then other studies found that there's actually a reduction in the quantity of these fat cells as well. Right now, you may be thinking, well, this is just the law of thermodynamics. These people or animals probably were eating in a calorie deficit. While calories in, calories out definitely is a factor, we cannot ignore this. After all, I'm not going to argue at any point in this video that you should just go out and eat unlimited honey, although that would be pretty awesome. It seems like there's probably more to the story than just law of thermodynamics, calories in, calories out. This 2018 study by the Journal of Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine tested the theory of thermodynamics, calories in, calories out. If you look at this chart here, group 1, which is normal diet, and then group 2, which is HFD, which is a high-fat diet, it looks like the rats gained 34% body weight gain, which is a really significant amount of body weight gained. But then if you look at groups 3, 4, and 5, these rats were given the same high-fat diet that they gained 33% body weight eating. But then when we added honey, something really interesting happens. So even though the rats are consuming more food, including more sugar, more carbohydrates, they're actually gaining a significantly less percentage of body weight. So the rats that ate 500 milligrams per kilogram of honey in addition to that high-fat diet that made them gain weight, they only gained about 12% more weight. And then in the 500 milligram per kilogram group, they only gained 11% more weight. And then in this 750 milligram per kilogram group, they actually lost a little bit of weight, lost about 2% of their body weight. And this is in spite of eating this amount of extra honey in addition to the high-fat diet that caused them to gain a lot of weight without any honey. Clearly, there's is more than just calories in, calories out, because if this were the case, the rats that ate the honey would have gained even more weight than the ones on the typical high-fat diet. So what is really going on here? Let's take a look at some more of the mechanisms of action of why this might be happening. According to these studies, some of the proposed ideas of why this phenomenon may be the case is, number one, higher energy efficiency, meaning that when your body's consuming calories and some of the calories are honey, your body's able to take that energy from food and instead of storing it as body fat, take those calories from food and turn it into energy. So effectively, you'd be burning more calories and storing less as body fat. It's also noted that the second proposed idea came from one of the studies where supplementation of obese rats with gelum honey and acacia honey successfully reduced the levels of leptin and resistin while the adiponectin level was increased. Leptin, resistin, adiponectin, these are hormones that are produced by fat cells, and they each have a role in regulating metabolism. Ideally, we want lower levels of leptin and resistin, and then the adiponectin to be higher, and honey seems to do exactly this. The third proposed reason of why honey may be having an impact on lowering body weight and body fat are the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties of honey. If you're at the grocery store and you picked up a jar of honey and you looked at the ingredient label, it would look pretty bad. It would basically show up just as sugars. But if you were to look under a microscope, this would tell probably a significantly different story, because honey contains a lot of antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds such as quercetin, phenolic acids, and flavonoids. This is just to name a few. To show a little bit further what honey contains, this 2022 review by the Journal of Evidence-Based Integrative Medicine shows a sneak peek of some of these components. As you can see, it is the majority sugar, but then there's a portion of water, proteins, amino acids, enzymes, minerals, vitamins, and then some other compounds as well. We still have a lot more to learn on what exactly is in honey and all the different types of honey, but as you can see, it's a lot more than just sugar. Number 3, types of honey to choose. So to be transparent, there weren't a ton of studies that were directly comparing different types of honey and how they affected body fat. There are hundreds, probably even more types of honey and varietals of honey. Some of them used in these clinical research studies include gelum honey, which mainly comes from tropical regions of Malaysia and Indonesia. There's acacia honey, which is more commonly to Europe and North America. They used a lot of what they referred to as stingless bee honey in these studies as well, which is typically a more acidic, more watery type of honey. My personal favorite that I eat the most is actually a raw honey, which is a little bit more sweet, a little bit thicker, and it's more solid when at room temperature. Note, raw honey was not included in any of the types of research studies that I looked at, but nonetheless, it seems very likely that although there's differences between the types of honey throughout the spectrum, honey seems to be a much better option for a sweetener than just regular sugar. Question number 4, how much honey to actually eat? Obviously, you can go really far overboard, and obviously the amount of sugar and calories you eat, you can hit a threshold where you're not actually benefiting from it and you're just consuming extra calories and sugar. In the studies done in humans, in these research studies, most of them included between about 40 grams and 60 grams of honey daily, which equates to about 2 to 3 tablespoons. As for my personal experience eating honey and benefits that I've personally seen, I started eating raw local honey. I live in Austin, Texas. Started eating it about a year and a half ago. I use a lot of it in baked goods, also eat it with Greek yogurt and some fruit. I prefer honey over different sweeteners such as sugar, sucralose, monk fruit, stevia. I just think it has a deep, rich flavor and I really enjoy it. I probably have been eating between 1 tablespoon and 2 tablespoons daily during this time period. To be frank, I was at a body weight a year and a half ago that I liked, so I haven't really been eating honey with the intention of losing weight, so I can't say I noticed a difference in body fat from that standpoint. I can say this may be a little bit of a placebo effect, but I've always had a certain amount of nasal congestion, and since eating raw local honey, I feel like I've noticed somewhat of an improvement. Again, could be placebo effect, but I definitely feel it's a lot easier to breathe through my nose since I've been eating honey. That is all for today. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel for more related content. If you like honey, let me know down in the comments below which one you prefer to eat and if you've noticed any benefits from eating it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.